man in here and you want to know.
Excuse me, it's ma'am. It is ma'am.
I can call the police if you'd like me to. You need to settle down.
You need to settle down and mind your business, okay?
Both of you guys?
Ma'am, once again, ma'am.
I said both of you.
No, you said sir. Once again, it's ma'am.
I actually said both of you guys. It was in general.
Right beforehand, you fucking said sir.
Sir? Okay.
Motherfucker, take it outside. If you want to call me sir again, I will show you a fucking sir.
Hi, everybody. Happy New Year. It's Ashley Breeze, creator of the Tea Time Network. I hope everyone had a good New Year. Let's send our condolences to all the trans women we've lost 2018 and the years before. This year, we're starting off with love and light, and we are definitely fighting back. So I'm joined with a guest, Miss Tiffany Michelle. The last week of December, she was in an incident at Gamestop, and a lot of people saw the video. The video started to record as things escalated, and a lot of people are jumping to conclusions, and they're calling Tiffany a deranged person, you know, that she has mental illness, and I want her to come on here and speak to us and explain her issue that led to her reacting the way she did in the video. So how are you, Tiffany?
You know, I'm making the best of it. I'm making the best of it right now. That's about all I can say. It's a horrible situation I find myself in, and unfortunately, because we all know how the internet is, it's just getting bigger and bigger. And at this point, I'm scared to leave the house. I haven't been to work. I'm a full-time student, and now I'm afraid to go to school next semester. I'm a full-time single mother. I haven't been able to take my son out to enjoy all this snow in Albuquerque right now because we just had a blizzard. And it's getting scary. Honestly, it's getting scary, and I'm scared to death right now.
I'm sorry to hear that. And thank you for even allowing me to have this talk with you, because I can imagine you wouldn't trust anyone if you're getting death threats.
Oh, no, not at all.
But thank you for opening up to another trans sister. What I wanted to say, let's go to that day. So you said this was around the 26th of December? So like a couple of days
the evening of the 26th, yes. Okay, I'll lay it all down. Go ahead and ask.
Yeah, lay it all down for me.
Okay, so I drive food deliveries for a living, and because of the transition, as I've told you, I'll tell your audience here, I'm currently in the process of setting up financial hardship so I can file for bankruptcy. When I came out as trans, I lost jobs, I lost friends, I lost everything else, but I had to live on my credit cards. And
what year was
unfortunately, I racked up about 15. I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, what year did you transition?
I just transitioned this year. I'm now 39 years old, but I started my I wanted to transition about 2 years ago, and I told my partner at the time, and she wasn't on board with becoming a lesbian, so we kind of split and went our separate ways, because it wouldn't be fair to me to put that on her if that's not her trip. So, you know, it kind of sucks because she's the love of my life, and it is what it is. But yeah, I left the house with my son, the house that I shared with my ex and her son. My son and I left in February, and by April I had started my transition. I transitioned socially July 12th of this year, and I started HRT October 11th.
Wow, so only 2 months before this incident.
Yes.
Okay, and for those of you who do not, for people in the community or not in the community, when a trans woman injects hormones, it definitely does have an emotional effect on us.
I take estradiol orally, and I take spironolactone orally. But as I said, I see my doctor, my prescribing doctor, once every 3 months, and I'm hoping to eventually hit the injections. Whatever's clever. I need to get this testosterone out of my body. There's poison flowing around in my bloodstream. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like,
yeah.
I need to get this crap out of my body like yesterday. You know, but yes. The first change I did notice when I started on hormone replacement therapy was mental changes and emotional changes. I'm starting to get
Right.
physical changes now, but it was really the emotional changes. So yeah.
Right. And for people that are wondering, have you always felt trans?
Yes, I've known who I was since I was 6 years old, but my older brother was a big bully and called me a sissy and called me the S word and everything else. And of course, you know, what standards were in the mid to early to mid 80s, you know, I felt obligated to you know, quote unquote man up. And so I went my entire life putting on this front. And it's funny because when I finally came out as trans, I mean, even my best friends said I would never have guessed that in a million years. And
Right.
it sucks because
sometimes we're the greatest pretenders. That's why people have to stop judging and think that they know what gender really is, because a lot of people are hiding in their gender.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's because of narrow-minded views. It's because of this misogynist hetero male system that we all find ourselves victims to. And the sad part is the hetero males, the cisgendered hetero males, are just as victimized by their own system as we are. So just putting that out there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So you're a resident of Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Yes, ma'am.
And this GameStop is a GameStop that you frequent in the past?
Well, no, I had gone there to, and it was funny because I'm a loyal Noble customer as far as my gaming goes, and it was about 8 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock in the morning, and Noble doesn't open until 10, and there's a GameStop like literally 3 storefronts down from them. So I decided to go in there. I was Christmas shopping for my son, and I decided to go in there.
Right.
I got a pretty good deal on a couple video games. What's that?
How old is your son?
He's 10 years old. I went crazy spending money on my son for Christmas, and I didn't have any money to operate, so I went to take one of the video games back. I went to go return it, but in my son's excitement opening presents, he ripped the plastic shrink wrap off. So because of that, they said they would not give me my money back. That's when I got a little mad, but I walked out of the store. I started reading back the receipt, and I was so angry. I didn't notice that it said unopened merchandise can be returned for whatever store credit. So I'm thinking, okay, I'll just go in there, get store credit, and get something with store credit, and then they'll give me my money back. So I go in there, and no, that's when everything started. Like, people were already laughing. I'd been misgendered twice already by then. And then the smart ass kid at the counter, he kept saying sir and snickering about it. And I kept raising my voice and correcting him, saying no, it's ma'am. And then eventually I cussed. I dropped the F-bomb because, you know, I'm pissed. And some woman with her son who was shopping, the woman decided to just go ahead and make it her business and come over and say, sir, stop cutting. And that's when I lost my absolute shit. I just melted down. And in hindsight, it probably wasn't the best thing to do, but, you know, I'm never going to take it back. I'd do it 100,000 times again. I don't care because this is unjust. It's like we've come far enough that people of color shouldn't be persecuted, and trans people and gays and lesbians shouldn't be persecuted, but we are. And the only reason it's like that is because nobody gets vocal about it. Or if people get vocal about it, they're not willing to take it to the bars. You know what I mean? And that's kind of how I was feeling. I felt trapped and backed into a corner, so I didn't know any other way to react, you know, and I had no idea somebody was filming, and, you know, in hindsight, somebody's always filming. But unfortunately, I let my anger get the best of me, and here we are.
Right. But I want to thank you, though. I want to thank you for being a champion, and I want to thank you for being brave and standing up for yourself, because there's people who have been transitioning for years, and they're misgendered on a daily basis, and they keep it a secret. They hide it. They don't want no one to know, because it could be very embarrassing, especially to tell other people, because a lot of trans women, a lot of people in the community can be very vain, and they will use the fact that someone was clocked against them and say, you know, and demean them like, oh, well, you're not real. You know, this is
and then they start with that whole trip, oh, that's not very ladylike. Well, once again, that's back to the, you know, cis heterosexual white male norms and standards that are set up for transgender women and men who, you know, last I checked, cis people are not transgender, so they should not have any kind of say in how we behave or conduct ourselves. And unfortunately, it's cisgender people who make all the rules for us. And it blows my mind.
Yeah, you're right. And I think that I hear a lot of gay men also telling cis women and trans women to act like a lady.
You know what I mean?
And,
you know what I mean?
how do you know what a lady acts like? You know?
Oh, because they went to a drag show. You know what I mean? It's like, come on.
Oh?
I mean, like, for real. One drag show does not make you an expert on transgender relations. You know what I mean? Like straight up. And, you know, and that's the whole thing.
That's definitely, and also let's talk about the fact that, you know, shout out to Drag Race and, you know, all that.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
you know, Drag Race has confused the cis world to believe that those are trans women.
Yeah,
so when they
exactly.
see us, they expect a performance.
Well, let me just put my 2 cents in from Albuquerque. Number one, everything. Drag queens are gay men. They are not trans women. And unfortunately, drag has been so much more socially accepted because they've made a spectacle of it to the point where cisgender people come and laugh about a man in a dress. And therefore, trans women become men in dresses. And unless you put a whole bunch of money into facial work, a whole bunch of money into top and bottom surgery, a whole bunch of time, I mean, believe me, in February, when I first decided to start transitioning, I was 230 pounds. I'm down to 170 pounds now, but that is not easy. That is commitment. That is dieting. That is giving up things that I love for the greater good of what I could possibly be. But I mean, in a second, it's just like my voice. I mean, I'm happy with my voice. I'm an MC. I always have been. I've been rapping for like 25 years. I'm dope at it. Cats in Albuquerque know me. You can search my old music. I used to go by Paycheck Subs. Freaking look it up.
Oh,
Hear the bars. You know what I mean?
Have you changed your rap name?
Yes, I am changing it. It's going to be serotonin.
What is it going to be?
Yeah. Serotonin. In like a first name, last name kind of setup. Just like my old name, Paycheck Subs. You know what I mean?
Serotonin. You know,
serotonin.
So I'm really glad I'm having this conversation with you because all the things that you're saying to me, I don't think anyone would know all this based on watching that video. I think that small clip made, and let me just go back to some of the captions that people were calling it. They put, this was what they titled it: "Trans woman throws a tantrum." Trans woman, white trans woman demands to be called ma'am.
Oh, that's something I need to touch on while I'm thinking about it. There's a lot of people around there saying that my quote-unquote tantrum was an episode of white privilege. But I have to tell you right now, while a lot of people think that may be the case because of the tone of my skin, it's not. That white privilege shit goes out the window as soon as you come out as trans, as soon as you come out as gay, as soon as you come out as a lesbian. You know what I mean? All that white privilege shit goes away. Because you know what? Most of the people who hate me for who I am are white privileged gentlemen, if you want to call them gentlemen. I'm trying to keep it as PC as I can right now. But,
yeah.
I mean, it literally has me raging.
I definitely wouldn't want to censor you. So you can say exactly what you want. Tea Time Network is not funded by anyone. We don't have no contracts.
Awesome.
We don't fuck transphobia.
Keeping it independent.
How about that?
Independent. That's where it's at.
Right. Yeah. It's a trans network run by a trans woman. So
hold on one second.
That you don't see.
Don't eat the yellow
that. So it's this run.
Sorry. Saw my son licking on a pile of snow out there, just making sure it's not yellow.
Oh yeah. So another thing I want to ask you is, so this is the thing that I don't think anyone would have known that you only transitioned 2 months before this happened. Because, you know, I thought maybe, you know, you've been transitioned for a couple of years already.
Yeah, it really has been a couple of years because, I mean, the first year of my transition was my significant other, my former significant other pretty much shooting me down. Like, I used to have this beautiful long blonde hair that I've been growing for years. And when I told her I wanted to come out as trans, she made me cut it off as a show of good faith that I still believed in our relationship, which I do. But on the same note, she's made it clear that she's not a lesbian, so it can't happen. I mean, we've managed to get back to a point where we're good friends, but that's all it's ever going to be. And it's sad because, like I said, she's the love of my life. You know what I mean? And yeah, right. It's been at least the first year was mentally preparing myself to come out. You know. Like a big part of it was, like I said, I've been a mainstay in the Albuquerque hip hop scene for a lot of years. And, really it was coming out to all my brothers and sisters in the hip hop scene. And And of course, the scene out here is like overwhelmingly woke. Like everybody not only was accepting and encouraging, but they're encouraging because I thought my rap career was over. And everybody's telling me, no, you got something to rap about now. And it's true. I mean, and that's what I'm getting at. I'm going to be dropping a project here in the next couple months. And, you know, hopefully with this newfound fame I get a little something out of it. But if not, I would give those records away for free. You know what I mean? I will give everybody in the country a copy for free if I can so fund it, just to spread the message of inclusion and just to spread the message that, you know, and the sad part is so many of the people posting and typing all these horrible things also represent other marginalized communities. And it makes me think, why is
that's happening? Yeah, a lot of trans women. I've seen a lot of trans women posting memes. And, you know, I had to call out a few of my own sisters, and I said, you know what, that's not fair because before you had your facial feminization surgeries, you weren't that passable either. So you can't tell someone who just transitioned that they should not be called ma'am and miss because we all start from somewhere.
Yeah, we all started from somewhere. It's just, I thank the powers that be that now we have trans boys and girls coming out in elementary school. I think that's so beautiful because you have such a good chance to ward off the testosterone or the estrogen, respectively, before it even happens. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's wonderful because, you know, our foremothers and our forefathers have paved the way through actions like Stonewall. You know, I mean, like, where are these people's history books? Do these trans LGBTQ people who are criticizing me and going so far as to say hurtful things, did they forget what happened at Stonewall? Did they forget the trans women who threw bricks and rocks at cops? I mean, all I did was have a meltdown, and suddenly I'm horrible.
Yeah, Marsha P. Johnson, and this is something that I've always said too. Marsha P. Johnson and Celia Rivera, they were, at the time, what people would consider today not passable, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah, absolutely.
All these people who say, oh, Marsha, we love you, Marsha, we love Sylvia, they probably wouldn't even take a picture with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we have to stop judging each other based on how we look when we all feel the same way inside. You know, we all have
those of us
that. We all want to be respected as the gender that we see ourselves as.
Yeah. Well, and especially those of us who have been more fortunate throughout the process, either from starting the transition earlier or having the finances to have facial feminization surgery and top surgery. I'm over here taking 4 milligrams of estradiol and 300 milligrams of Spiro every day, hoping that my boobs grow. I'm sitting here with A cups now. The only way they really show is if I get like a double cup push-up monster bra that you can't wear for more than 45 minutes without cutting off the circulation of both your arms. And it's like, yo, build me up. You know what I mean? Don't fucking put me down. I'm sorry about the language. My bad. But
no,
you can see where I'm coming from.
Right. So I want to ask you, how did you explain to your son that you were transitioning to a woman?
I just sat down and told him. We made a day of it. We went up to there's a place in Santa Fe, New Mexico called Meow Wolf. It's a collaborative effort of several like hundreds of local and other artists from other states, and it's all funded by George R.R. Martin, the guy who wrote the whole Game of Thrones thing. It's like an ever-changing interactive artwork. That's the only way I can explain it. But I took Cage up there for the day, and we walked around. I kind of explained what was going on the road trip because Albuquerque's about an hour away from Santa Fe. And then on the road trip back, we explained, and then I did it right. I got him I went through my therapist, and she gave a recommendation for another therapist for Cage. And now Cage goes to therapy every 2 weeks, and he's loving it. He's my biggest champion. He's got a little button that he got from the Transgender Resource Center of New Mexico when we were down there one day, and it says, I heart my trans mom. And he makes sure to wear it all the time. And he makes sure that I transitioned during the summer, so when he started school, we lucked out, and he got the same teacher for 4th grade that he had for 3rd grade. So we went to the parent-teacher introduction, whatever, and I told her, look, because I wasn't presenting feminine at the time, I told her, look, I'm not going to surprise you guys, but I've come out as trans, this, that, and the other, and the school has been 100% supportive of this. I mean, Cage even got to stand up in front of his class and ask if anybody had any questions, because he did not want to be teased, but he was not going to hide the fact that his mom is trans. I mean, that's how kids are these days. They see us for who we are.
Hate is taught. People teach hate.
Yeah, people are not born bigots. That's a taught behavior. You know what I mean? And it's good to see that.
Yeah. So have you made any trans friends since you transitioned?
Oh yeah, totally. In fact, the royal court of Sandy is the Empress of the State, Bunny Cruz. She's a wonderful woman. And then the first trans woman I actually reached out to, I'm gonna shout her out, Tara Fox. Awesome lady. I love her to death. And yeah, as I became comfortable with who I was and started reaching out, and I changed my Facebook profile, everything else. And it just became common knowledge. It became easier and easier. But I still was lost. So I started reaching out to other trans people in the community. And fortunately, we're blessed here in Albuquerque with the Transgender Resource Center in New Mexico, and they do incredible work for the community. So I ended up going there looking for help, and I'm pretty active in the community out here.
Right, that's good. So I had put a post on Facebook asking people to drop some questions. So I'm going to give you some questions. So one of the first questions was, do you want everyone to boycott Gamestop?
You know, GameStop just reached out to me 2 days ago. I have not got back to them because I have not retained legal counsel, so I have not returned their email. But if they don't make some changes, because I plan on taking this to the highest court that'll see it. I don't want money out of it. I just want this to set a precedent for major corporations like GameStop, the importance of trans sensitivity training to their new employees, to old employees, to the people in the stores, all the way up to the people in the offices. I mean, and this should be real life requirements to run a Fortune 500 company. I mean, you see companies like Starbucks jumping on board. You see companies like Microsoft and Google and everything else jumping on board where, you know, their insurance covers facial feminization surgery, top surgery, and SRS. And we don't have enough of that. Not only do we not have enough of that, but we have points, we have places where people can go to spend money on goods, and instead of that, they get ridiculed for who they are. And that's all I want. I want attention brought to this.
Yeah, and people need to understand that, because a lot that's happening is people are judging, and they're basically tearing down, you know, appearances. They're basically judging the voice. And we just have to bring it back to the fact that a lot of people around the world do not have the same resources as everyone else. Not everyone is afforded the same insurance and all the other kinds of things that help their transition. So we cannot knock someone who lives in a small town who's told they could never transition, and then they finally find the will to transition, and people are telling them that no, you're not a woman, you're a man. So you know, someone who's held their womanhood inside for years is going to react a certain way.
Well, especially
when you told someone not to call you a sir, and they still do it.
Yeah. And they do it maliciously and intentionally for the sake of laughter. Because by the time I completely lost my shit, all I heard was laughter. All I heard was everyone in the store laughing at me. And that may very well have been.
Bully you. So did it bring back? Did it trigger some memories from your brother bullying you as a child?
Oh yeah. I mean, it triggered a whole mess of stuff, and of course, that's why I react the way I did, because I've spent my whole life trying to overcompensate and run from who I am. So yeah, I spent a lot of years as a fighter, I used to love to fight. I used to love to throw hands, and I'm good at it too. But that's not me. That's residuals of the person, the persona I put together to hide me, and it really sucks because 38 years you're gonna get a lot of muscle memory, more or less. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what that was. It was a knee-jerk reaction, and it was a bad one. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't the wrong one. Because at this point, I don't care. I will be the whipping. I will be the martyr. You go ahead and tell me how manly my voice is. You know what? That doesn't matter. It's still a woman's voice. You know, you go ahead and tell me that I don't pass. You know what? I don't want to fucking pass. I am a proud, out, and loud trans woman, and I'm all about trans rights. You know, we can make this an LGBTQ thing, but you know what? Bottom line, it's trans thing. It is a trans thing. And because of all the hate I'm receiving from the community, I'm removing myself out of the community. I don't want the community to catch flack over this, but they are. You know what I mean? I'm at a loss now.
I think that the fact that the video started at a point where you were defending yourself and, you know, coming off as an aggressor, which any trans woman in the situation would react, not saying the same, but, you know, would have a reaction to that. You know, there are a lot of people who find trans people as entertainment, and they want to humor themselves by getting a reaction. So, and a lot of times when people misgender, they do it only when people are around, because they want people to laugh and kiki and ha ha, it's a man, it's a man, it's a man. You know, and it's transphobia. It's a form of bullying. You know,
you know what really killed me is that I follow a bunch of trans news pages on Facebook. You know, I don't do Twitter. I've never done Twitter, so I don't know what's going on Twitter. I don't care to know what's going on Twitter. But okay, so I because all these trans women and men are just tearing me apart, like just tearing me apart, talking about like oh that's such a bad reaction, you should be ashamed of yourself and this that. So I jump on the comment feed, okay, and I start going back and forth with this trans woman, and this woman says maybe being trans is not for you, like it's a goddamn choice. And that's that right there. Yeah, a trans woman said that. And you know, I could stoop to her level and start misgendering her or do, but no, I just choose to remove myself from it. Because like 99% of the time, I'll keep a cool head. I'm a pretty smooth operator. But this was that 1% that just pushed me over the edge. Because the other thing to think about is my state is one of 2 states in the country that has an entirely blue delegation. All my senators, all my congressmen and women, and the governor, the newly elected, are all Democrats, all progressive liberals. And in a state like that, where progressive liberals are elected to that extreme, you would think that the people who voted for them wouldn't be such closet trolls. You know, I mean, you'd think they actually mean, and I'm tired of saying this word because it's messed up. You'd think they'd be good allies. You know, I'm not looking for allies. I'm looking for family at this point. I'm looking for brothers and sisters. And fortunately, like I said, this scene out here is woke. And I got a lot of solid people in my support system. And they're going to war for me. And it's amazing to see, you know. It's only a fraction compared to the hundreds of millions of people who have torn me apart. But you know what? All that love is what's keeping me going. See, I'm in recovery. I haven't gone back to the needle. I haven't gone back to the liquor bottle. I haven't had a drink in 6 years. A few times during my transition process, I fell off the wagon, but I've been sober for almost a year now. And I look at these comments of all these, you know, self-proclaimed psychology professors. Oh, they're obviously on drugs. I feel 5 o'clock shadow my ass. I had makeup on. I mean, people are just like reaching in their butts to pull out just random ass shit that makes no sense, doesn't pertain to it, and people grab that and they just run with it. It's like I told you, I'm a shepherd. I'm not a damn sheep. You know what I mean? And I want to surround myself with other shepherds, other people who are going to lead the flock out of this mess. I mean, if anything positive comes out of this, it's going to be the fact that my resolve has been tested and it has not crumbled. And now it's just that much stronger. And now I'm going to get real loud about the injustices. You know what I mean? And I don't care if it's at the expense of you know, whatever you think might be my dignity. My dignity's been shredded to crap at this point. So, you know, it's no big deal. You know, just like I'm sure people are listening probably talking shit about my voice right now. I'm comfortable with my voice. I'm very happy with my voice. You know, it may not be feminine to most people's standards, but you know what? Whose standards dictate me?
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true. And let me and also something that happens a lot in the community is internalized transphobia.
Yeah.
And a lot of trans women who when they transition and they're at a place where they're content and they pass, sometimes they get comfort out of tearing down other trans women who do not pass.
Yeah, and that's
giving them everything that they were
level.
given when they weren't passable. And it's a vicious cycle that continues to keep happening in the community where we tell people, you're not a woman yet. You have to do this. You have to do that. And what makes a woman? You know,
yeah,
I feel like
you may as well just be running with all those turfs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we have to stop putting all these unrealistic expectations of what a woman looks like. You know, there's all types of different.
Oh yeah. And all of them are beautiful. Every single woman out there is beautiful. The only thing that makes a person ugly is what's inside. And when the inside is ugly, it makes the outside ugly real quick. You know what I mean?
Right. So,
like,
let me ask. Because there's so many questions that people are like, because a lot of people are they're coming to the post late, leaving more and more questions. Someone asked, do you plan to correct every person that misgenders you?
You know, at this point, it is what it is. You know, and at this point, I've learned a very, very hard lesson. No, I'm just going to misgender them from now on. Someone misgenders me, I'll misgender them. So
I know that's right.
That works for me.
Yes.
So,
right. Well, looking back now, would you have told the Gamestop employee, call him ma'am?
Yeah.
Yeah, say thank you, miss.
Thank you, ma'am. You know, or even be like, thank you, lovely miss. You know what I mean? I could throw all sorts of salt and pepper on that one.
And,
you know what I mean?
Let's see how he would react to that.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and that's something that I would 99 times out of 100 would have thought of and done. But they had me so live, so heated. Because the customers were putting down what they were looking at to join in. I mean, I tell the dude, it's ma'am. And he says, oh, I'm sorry, sir. Like, it's funny. Like, my life is a joke, yo.
So you told him, right. That would infuriate me to the, I probably he would have been drowned in Crash Bandicoot and Spyro video games. I would have tore that place up because a lot of people don't understand what we've gone through to be who we are. So it's not that we're mentally unstable. We've had enough. We're being killed for simply existing.
Well,
enough is enough.
And when it comes to being misgendered, okay, you're not misgendering and disrespecting just me. You're disrespecting my journey. You're disrespecting what it took, how much gusto it took to come out in the first place. You're disrespecting everything about me when you misgender me. And it's one thing if you do it on accident, I'm going to correct you just like I did the first time. But then you say, oh, sorry, sir. Ma'am. And that's when I start getting loud. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm tired. I'm so sick and tired. So many trans women have told me shame on you for reacting like that. Well, you know what? Shame on you for never reacting. That's what I got to say.
That was deep. And, okay, so, someone in the comments asked, do you plan on getting facial feminization surgery?
You know, if I had the money, yeah, I would. I would get D-cup boobies. I get double D-cup boobies. I get facial surgery. I get my Adam's apple shaved down. But you know what? I don't have $30,000 laying around, and my insurance doesn't do that unless they prove that it's some kind of mental condition that makes me sick. So I have to. So it's required for me. You know what? I want facial feminization surgery. I want a more feminized voice. I want all that.
But just because you don't have all those things doesn't mean that you're not a woman still.
You know what I mean?
And I think that that's a message that we have to push through, that we need to stop telling people that they're not where they should be and meet them where they're at and respect them where they're at.
Well, see,
and
that's
stop
the
knocking
thing.
people's journeys, because you're basically, what's happening is people, this happens so much, it just keeps happening.
Yeah.
People judge people where they're at, and they give them no hope for their future.
Well, and if you look back through time, throughout the span of civilization, nothing great, no great change has ever come without a fight, has ever come without sacrifice. You know what I mean? And right now, most trans people are just too complacent with the table scraps they're giving us. I want to see this goddamn table. I want to eat the feast. You know what I mean? And it's like my good friend Bunny said when we went to lunch the day after the whole thing blew up. She said, you know what? F all that. I want to be the one inviting people to the feast. And that's where I'm at right now. If they're not going to give it to us, we're going to take it back. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's where I'm at right now. That's what this has done to me. A lot of other people would have crumbled, would have tried to disappear, would have attempted suicide. You know what? This just makes me that much stronger. And it makes me realize all that hate from those hundreds of millions of people, guess what? I'm living in their head rent-free. They think about me. I don't think about them. And that's where the real victory is.
Right. Someone asked, when you speak to customer service on the phone, do they greet you with sir or ma'am?
It's always sir. It's always sir. And I don't correct anybody on the phone because, I mean, clearly they can't see me. And that's the other thing. Because of safety issues, I was presenting as myself, but because of safety issues, I got jumped by a couple of guys when I was trying to drop off an order for at work one night. So from then on out, I started presenting masculine. Nobody bothered me. So when I'm at work, I present masculine. And it sucks because, I mean, that's where the dysphoria comes, is where I have to put on, some baggy pants and a hoodie and hide who I am. That's where the dysphoria comes in. That's where the uncomfort comes in. That's where everything comes in. But it's so sad that we live in a society where that's the only way I feel safe. Yeah, I never know who's going to open that door. I mean, they may have ordered the most weirdest thing from the strangest restaurant. Seem like totally progressive people, and you get there and it's some redneck with the stars and bars tattooed across his chest.
Wow.
And I mean,
so your job is delivering. You deliver orders.
Yeah, I deliver orders for well, I won't go into names, but yeah, I deliver orders.
You don't have to go. Yeah, so and a lot of people. I know several trans women who had to stop their transition in order to get jobs in certain fields.
Yeah.
And
you know what I mean?
And this is something that we have to do sometimes because they're not hiring us. Especially when we're not, to their eyes, passable enough to be at a front desk or
you know what I mean? Well, here's the other thing.
So we have to stop demonizing people for how they're getting their bag.
See, I'm a master carpenter by trade. I can do some of the most amazing things you've ever seen in your life with wood. Yet I have no shop to work at because no one in construction wants to mess with a trans woman unless they're in the office at a drafting computer where nobody can see them. You know what I mean? And that's not good enough for me. Now I'm struggling because I'm doing this delivery stuff. I also have a fully functional cabinet shop in my garage. And now it's come down to I gotta survive off of table scraps I make for selling cutting boards and doing little kitchens and stuff like that, and it's killing me. It's killing me that it's supposedly so accepted, but I mean we're just now getting to a point where Wisconsin just made transphobia illegal in some respect or another. But you know what? Let's see how well that law is enforced by the police, who also hate trans people. You know what I mean? And it's like, there's no way to win. So I'm just not going to play their game. You know what I mean? And that takes the whole win, lose, or draw thing out of the equation. I'm done playing this. I'm done playing this game. And I want to give a voice to women and men out there who otherwise wouldn't have one. And right now, I have a platform to do so. Which, thank you so much for having me on. Like somebody of notoriety to actually help me spread my message and actually, let me get my side out. That's awesome, and I so appreciate it.
Right, definitely. No, and I've gone through. We may be in different sides of the coast. You're in New Mexico, I'm in New York, but this is happening to trans girls and trans men, trans women and trans men around the world are going through these things.
Just look at how many of them. Just look at how many of us were killed, not just in the States, but all over the world last year. Look at how many of us were killed. And I guarantee, and you still got states who are accepting the whole Trans Day Defense Day or trans whatever it is when they try and justify their bigotry in killing somebody because they were trans or gay. You know, and it's ridiculous how we can live in a country like that. I mean, you look around the world and people are making strides. I mean, for God's sake, London had trans women or women blasted across the side of Big Ben and Buckingham Palace in trans flag colors. I mean, why do we not have that here? What is going on there? Well, I mean, why are we not progressing? It has a lot to do with the administration that's running the country, and things are changing, but I'm not trying to make this a political forum. Because, you know what? Politics aside, it's just wrong. It's too late in the game to hate somebody because they're different from you. You know what I mean? And the sad part is all these people trying to crack all these jokes and stuff, they're really just deflecting off the fact that they've got issues that they don't want anybody to know about. The best day of my life, obviously, is the day my son was born. But a very close second was the day I came out and was actually accepted for who I am from lifelong friends, lifelong family. You know, I'll be the first to tell you, I don't have friends. I have brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? And that's the way I look at it. Even these people tossing this hate and this bigotry at me, we're all relatives. You know, it's too late in the game to hate somebody because they're different. I mean, didn't the civil rights movement prove that? Apparently not, because we still have cops shooting people of color like it's the latest thing. And it kills me. It kills me that so many people can be so ignorant because other people are different from them. But, I mean, you try and understand that, you try and break that code, and you're going to go crazy. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, Tiffany, what are your plans from here on? What exactly are you calling for?
I'm calling for a change. I'm calling for a major overhaul. I'm calling for things. I'm calling for, you know, these supposed cisgendered allies and these supposed other allies to, you know, stop talking and actually show and prove. You know what I mean? There's very few cisgender people who can put themselves in our shoes and actually feel empathy for us. You know, and more people need to be that way. Which, you know, of course, that's like, you know, that's like asking for $1 million when there's no clear way to get it. It's not gonna happen. You know, that's like, I don't know, but I mean, I'm gonna yell and scream and until I have no voice left, to bring a voice to people who don't have the voices, who aren't, you know, at a level where they, you know, can start a movement. You know, it's just like, this whole thing, as big as it's gotten, some good is going to come out of it. Some good is going to come out of it.
That's exactly what we want.
And it's opened up the dialogue.
A lot of people, I think that people need to understand, especially trans women, that what you did was courageous. You know, even though some people may feel that, okay, it was overboard, but you can't tell people how to react, especially when you don't know their story. You don't know what they've been through. You don't know their triggers. You don't know to what point they're at that they're on the edge.
You know, I had a lot of pent up stuff, but when I let go of it, like road rage used to be my thing. I used to get so pissed about stupid I said, what the hell could these people be going through that could cause them to cut me off in traffic or flip me off or you know, drive like that? You know, people are going through stuff. Just like you're going through stuff, I'm going through stuff. We need to stop passing judgment when we don't understand what folks are going through. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm going to bring some kind of good out of this.
Right. So, Tiffany, I want to ask you, what advice would you give to a trans woman who's starting her transition, who's going through the same thing you went through?
My only advice to any trans individuals, if they're early in their transition, if they're right along, it doesn't matter. If they're passable or not, if they've had $100,000 worth of plastic surgery, or if they look like me. My advice, keep going. It gets better. So don't apologize for living your life. You know what I mean? the people who should be apologizing are the sons of guns that set the standard that says it's wrong to be trans. I mean, like really, and I don't want to badmouth anybody. I myself am an atheist, but I have nothing but the utmost respect for anybody who can have blind faith, especially in something that big. And you know what? That's all. There's oh, I'm sorry. I need to compose myself here. I'm starting to cry a little bit. My bad. This is this experience has it's been a learning experience, and I want more than just myself to learn from it. I want more than just the gentleman behind the counter who started the whole thing to learn from it. I want more than just the people in the store who were laughing at me to learn from it. I want people to learn that it's getting to a point where we're not going to bend to this stuff anymore. We're not going to, just be okay with it. We're not going to conform to what little bit you're giving us. What we need to do is set standards and then elect officials who will enforce those standards. And I mean, they're doing it in Wisconsin as we speak. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's just like medical marijuana. You got 25 states in the country who you can buy weed if you got a medical card, and even a few that you can buy weed if you don't, but it's still not legal on a federal basis. So, God forbid the veteran truck driver who's got PTSD, and that's the other, I'm a medical marijuana patient. I have a very, very, very bad PTSD. And, it's the same thing. It's great on a little level, but we need to go grander. We need to go big. We need to go big because we're not going home. You know what I mean? That's all there is to it.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Tiffany, for sharing your story. And where can people find you?
I'm on Facebook. You can search for Tiffany Michelle, or Instagram, Tiffany_Michelle_more, MOORE. And that is me. And if you're curious about my music, you can look for Paycheck Stubs on any of the music streaming sites. I don't think I ever deleted those. So, I mean, there's some gems there.
Give us a quick little sample of your rap skills.
It's fucking asinine. Trump and his Republican acolytes. Some bastardized stacks of crap and suits and ties. I'm sorry, I can't remember. So yeah, just the song is on my SoundCloud. So check that out. I'm not in really a mental state right now that I'm about to bust a freestyle. You know what I mean? But
right, I understand. No, respectively, yeah. I understand. But definitely, people need to stop the transphobia, stop the bullying, stop the death threats. It's just stop it. It's a new year, new beginnings, and yeah, trans people will not be misgendered, and we are who we say we are.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, let me just say real quick before we part ways here, if there's any attorneys in your vast audience, any kind of attorneys who might have any kind of idea of where I can go about retaining one from New Mexico, I would greatly appreciate it because I have not been able to find one, and I need some help. So I welcome anybody out there to hit me up and let me know what's going on. I will say this though, my Instagram and my Facebook are completely on lock right now, so it may take me a while to accept friend requests and stuff like that, but by all means send a message. I mean, for real. I read all of them. And that's one thing. All these people who are sending me friend requests and stuff, I'm sorry if I haven't accepted them, but believe me, I read all your messages and I appreciate it. The outpouring of love has been pretty amazing. You know what I mean? And I just want you to know, anybody who's in your audience that has sent me something, I've read it. And I hear you and I thank you. I try to reply to them, but there's been a lot.
Right, I can imagine. But, well, thank you so much. And I hope, your transition journey it goes up from here. And,
yeah, definitely.
Next time someone misgenders you, you misgender them back.
Yep, absolutely. I'm surely not losing my shit, that's for sure. Well, I guess a star is born, right?
Right. Well, take care, okay?
All right, thank you so much. All right,
okay.
bye-bye.
Bye.